So the first question is, what's your name and what did you major in during college?
I'm Dolores Bozovic. I typically pronounce it Bozovic just to make it easier, but your official pronunciation is Bozovic. Um, I was a physics major in college.
So what is your occupation as of now and what do you do?
I'm a professor of physics, so I have stayed in the sciences the whole time after college. I did graduate school, I did postdoctoral research, and then became a professor. And so what I do as a professor, there are a couple of different that job is really a big umbrella term for many different things one does. I teach undergraduate students and graduate students, so I teach. That's part of my profession. But I also run a research group. What that means is that I have graduate students and postdocs in my group whose thesis work and postgraduate work I advise. I'm a mentor to them as well.
So how long have you been a professor?
It's been now 18 years.
And what inspired you to pursue that career?
So I was always interested in the sciences. But as a young woman, I didn't quite know which science. I was interested in math, I was interested in physics, I was interested in biology. Those were kind of the three main interests. And so I decided to go for physics because I figured I would still get to do a lot of math with that. And I sort of postponed my interest in biology at the time. My graduate work was also done in physics. And so what inspired me was just kind of curiosity. I really liked science. I liked learning. I liked figuring things out. I think it's the approach that I really liked. And math was always attractive to me as well, but I think I preferred sort of the problems that science addresses, sort of real world problems, at least to some extent. So that's how I started off in science. And then once I was done with PhD, I decided that I wanted to do more biological stuff. So in between physics and biology, so my research is applying physics to biological questions. And so what's inspired me then to become a professor and pursue that career is that at some point I realized that's the only career in which I really get to do scientific research um without, with an independence where I can run my own group and in a manner where I can pursue what I'm most interested in, what I think is most important. So it was the intellectual freedom that you get in academia that made me want to do that.
What do you most enjoy about your work?
So I would say the most that I enjoy is the science itself, the research, scientific research, I should say. So that's figuring things out, discovering something new, working on a problem that we don't know answers to yet. That I would say is the most important, but a close runner-up and at times almost equal, or maybe at times even ahead, is really I love mentoring people. I really like working with young scientists and sort of teaching them. And I would really say of the teaching, it's the mentoring part that I like the best. So mentoring graduate students throughout their PhD progress to see sort of how they evolve from beginners to experts. So I've really enjoyed the mentoring aspect. Yeah.
Did you have any women in STEM that you looked up to, or do you have?
Women in science.
Yeah.
Um, well, what's strange is that, or not strange, I suppose, unfortunate, is that there were very few, and particularly in my day, and I hate to sound old, but when I was attending undergrad and even graduate school, most of my professors were men, very few sort of active role models in that sense. But I had role models in my family. My late grandmother was a doctor, so not quite a scientist. She was a practitioner, but with definitely a scientist mindset. And her sort of taking on of all of the world in a very gentle but extremely strong and independent manner was inspiration. So Sasha Bozovic, she was one of the early women doctors back in the day. So she was always an inspiration to me, even though, like I said, I went to different specific science. Um, but she was an inspiration. And then besides that, I think I've really pursued sort of, more of some of the role models who are men onto a woman, onto a career for women.
What is one thing you would like to tell girls that are interested in STEM or science?
If there's one thing that I would want a girl interested in STEM to know is that she should never, ever, ever go for the view that, oh, it is too difficult, or it's a career that's not friendly for women. You know, if careers are not made friendly, they need to be changed. Careers as opposed to topics, right? And so I think I would just say, you know, if it's hard, go out there and change the situation. Don't give up on what you love to do. So the one thing I would say to a girl would be do what you love to do, and make sure it's your choice and not anybody else's. Yeah.
What is a challenge you have had to overcome in the duration of your career?
You know, everyone has to go through many, so it's kind of hard to pick one. But I would say for me, choosing that one area, the one field that is the most interesting and exciting. Um, my interests were always broad. I wanted to do A and B and C and D and E. And it's been, you know, this kind of search for that specific, that's something that's narrow enough that I can become good at it, but that's important enough and has broad applications enough. I would say to me that has been the biggest challenge and kind of an ongoing one. I feel like that there are different stages of my career I've had to sort of reevaluate that. What is that one thing that I want to leave behind? Yeah. So that I would say that remains a challenge. In 10 years I may be doing something a little bit different from now.